Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Jayden Daniels has taken the NFL by storm in a way very few rookie quarterbacks ever have. And as the dust settles from a magical 2024 season, there's one thing that's becoming increasingly clear. He might be even better than we initially thought. Everyone who watched the Washington Commanders last year saw a player who could run like a gazelle, sling the football with poise and precision, and operate an offense with a confidence that betrayed his inexperience. But behind all the flash and excitement, Daniels himself believes there's one area of his game that still isn't getting the love it deserves: his football IQ. And when you actually break down the tape and dive into the numbers, it's hard to argue. This isn't just a dual-threat quarterback with highlight reel plays. This is a cerebral assassin at the most difficult position in all of sports. And he's proving that the space between the ears might be his most dangerous weapon. When Daniels spoke to the NFL Network about his rookie season and was asked what aspect of his game was still underrated, he didn't say speed. He didn't mention accuracy or arm strength. No, Daniels went straight for the part of the game that often separates the good quarterbacks from the legendary ones: his football intelligence. And let's be honest, he has a point. Playing quarterback in the NFL is not just about throwing dimes and running for first downs. It's about understanding complex coverages, identifying disguised blitzes, shifting protection, and executing under pressure, all while managing the play clock and adapting to live, unpredictable defensive movement. For a rookie to do that at a high level is rare. For one to do it as often and as confidently as Daniels did throughout the 2024 season, that's special. He wasn't just managing games, he was outsmarting veteran defensive coordinators on a weekly basis. It's easy to see a young quarterback break off a 25-yard scramble and think, wow, that guy's electric. It's easy to watch him drop a perfect 40-yard pass in stride and marvel at the arm talent. But what separates Daniels is that when you dig into the film, when you slow everything down, you start to see a player who already has an elite grasp on the mental side of the position. He wasn't just reacting, he was anticipating. Defenses didn't confuse him, blitzes didn't rattle him. In fact, according to league data, Daniels had the 4th highest QBR versus the blitz in a single season, including playoffs, trailing only 3 quarterbacks: Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, and Dak Prescott. Think about that for a second. That's not rookie production. That's elite level quarterbacking, plain and simple. And the more you look, the more you find that it wasn't just flashes. It was consistent, week in and week out. Take the NFC Championship game, for example. Daniels walked into one of the most high-stakes environments imaginable, facing a veteran-heavy defense with a Super Bowl berth on the line. He wasn't fazed, not for a second. When the pocket collapsed, he knew exactly where his hot reads were. When safeties disguised coverage pre-snap, he adjusted. When the defensive front shifted, Daniels calmly realigned protections. And that wasn't by chance. That's football IQ. On one play in particular, the blitz came hard and fast. The running back missed the assignment, and all-pro safety Antoine Winfield Jr. came screaming off the edge. Daniels saw it before the little snap, reoriented the line, took the hit, and still delivered a perfectly timed 33-yard fade to Terry McLaurin down the sideline. That's next-level quarterbacking, and it's the kind of mental processing that simply doesn't show up in a box score. When Daniel says his football IQ is underrated, he's not just being modest. He's pointing out something that we, the fans and media, often overlook. And maybe that's because his physical gifts are so mesmerizing. You see the 70-yard bomb, you remember the 40-yard scramble, and it's natural to attribute success to athleticism. But the truth is, Daniel's biggest wins last year came at the line of scrimmage. His ability to read the defense, call out disguised coverages, and manipulate defenders with his eyes was nothing short of surgical. According to Next Gen Stats, he ranked among the league leaders in pre-snap recognition efficiency, a category that rewards quarterbacks who correctly identify pressure and coverage before the snap and adjust accordingly. That's usually where veterans like Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow shine. Now Daniels is right there with them, and he's only entering his second season. What makes this revelation even more terrifying for opposing defenses is that Daniels now has a full offseason to refine and expand that mental aspect of his game. Last year, he was preparing for the draft, learning a new offense and adjusting to the speed of the league. This year, he's building chemistry with his receivers, studying tape from teams that'll now be game planning specifically for him, and adding even more tools to his mental toolbox. Remember, it was only after Mahomes' second season that the league realized how unstoppable he could be when his brain caught up to his talent. Daniels might be following a similar path, and if that's the case, the Commanders might have landed not just a franchise quarterback, but the next generational superstar of the league. That's not hyperbole, that's just how good he's already shown he can be. Another underrated element of Daniels' football intelligence is how calm and composed he remains even under extreme duress. When most rookie quarterbacks are rattled by pressure or confused by disguised looks, Daniels seems to slow the game down. It's like he's operating in bullet time, processing multiple variables and making decisive, accurate throws while everything around him is pure chaos. That type of poise doesn't just happen. It's the result of hundreds of hours in the film room, obsessive preparation, and elite-level instincts. Whether it was reading linebacker depth to diagnose zone blitzes or baiting safeties to open. Up windows over the middle, Daniels played chess while most rookies were still learning the rules. He took what defenses gave him, but he also forced them into mistakes. His decision-making was among the best in the NFL, with one of the lowest turnover-worthy play rates in the league despite being one of the most aggressive passers statistically. And the most exciting part of all this? He's just getting started. The Commanders didn't just luck into a good player, they might have stumbled upon the ultimate modern quarterback. Jaden Daniels isn't just a threat to run or a guy with a big arm, he's a football mind that can dismantle defenses with his brain just as easily as he can with his legs or his right arm. And with head coach Dan Quinn building a dynamic young roster around him, Washington fans have every reason to believe this is only the beginning. If his rookie year is a preview of what's to come, then it's safe to say the league better. Take notice, you can't blitz him, you can't confuse him, and if you sit back in coverage, he'll pick you apart like a 10-year vet. That's what football IQ looks like, and Daniels is bringing it at a terrifying level. Jaden Daniels didn't just win Rookie of the Year because he put up great stats. He won it because he transformed the Washington Commanders into legitimate contenders seemingly overnight by mastering the mental demands of playing quarterback at the highest level. He gave his team confidence. He gave the coaching staff options. And he gave fans something they haven't had in a long, long time. Hope. That's what a true franchise quarterback does. And now, as he enters year 2 with a target on his back and expectations through the roof, Daniels isn't flinching. He's embracing the challenge. His mindset. Let them come. Let them try to blitz. Let them show exotic looks. Because no matter what they bring, he's already studied it, diagnosed it, and built a plan to beat it. That's the difference. That's football IQ. And that's why Jaden Daniels isn't just a star. He's a future MVP in the making. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest move. We want to hear from you. Well. If you thought the NFL offseason had already hit its climax, think again, my friends. The rumor mill is churning overtime, and this time it's spitting out something wild. Imagine this. Jason Kelsey, the future Hall of Famer, the heart and soul of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line for over a decade, could be making a comeback, but not in green and white. Word on the street is that Kelce, who just recently hung up the cleats and embraced the podcasting world, might be gearing up to unretire. Not for the Eagles. Not for a reunion with Jalen Hurts, but for the Washington Commanders. Yeah, you heard that right. Jason Kelce in burgundy and gold. It sounds like something out of a fever dream, but credible sources are beginning to whisper. And when there's smoke in the NFL, there's usually a bonfire behind it waiting to erupt. Now, before we all lose our minds, let's take a deep breath and actually look at the situation. Jason Kelce announced his retirement in an emotional farewell that had even the toughest fans wiping tears away. He seemed ready to move on, hosting a successful podcast with his brother Travis, appearing on national shows, and even teasing a broadcasting career. But football guys never really leave football, do they? There's something about that locker room, that Sunday adrenaline, that pull of unfinished business. And apparently, the Commanders might have found the perfect way to reel him back in. A fat paycheck? Maybe. A leadership role on a rebuilding offensive line? Definitely. But more than anything, the chance to be the veteran voice in a team that's about to undergo a total identity shift with a new coaching staff and young quarterback. That kind of opportunity can be hard to turn down, even for a legend. So let's talk about the Commanders for a second. This team is clearly heading into a new era, new ownership, new coaching regime, and most importantly, a new culture. Drafting Jaden Daniels at quarterback signaled that Washington is going all in on building from the trenches outward. And what better way to fast track that process than by bringing in one of the greatest centers to ever do it? If this rumor holds any truth, then the Commanders just landed themselves not only a surefire Hall of Famer, but also one of the best culture setters in the entire NFL. Think about what Jason Kelce brings: toughness, accountability, experience in playoff wars, and an incredible football IQ. This isn't just about snapping the ball, it's about setting a tone. And in a young locker room filled with potential but lacking veteran grit, Kelsey could be the key that turns potential into actual results on the field. Of course, there's the elephant in the room: the rivalry. Jason Kelce has been a pillar of Eagles football for years. He's beloved in Philly like few athletes ever are. He was there for the Super Bowl win. He gave that iconic speech in the Mama's outfit. He is Philadelphia. So the idea of him suiting up for a division rival, the Washington freaking Commanders, would send shockwaves through the NFC East. Fans would feel betrayed, headlines would explode, and the internet might actually break. But here's the thing. The NFL is a business, and legends have crossed enemy lines before. We've seen it. Brett Favre in purple, Jerry Rice in silver and black, Tom Brady in Tampa. If Kelsey sees this as a right opportunity, emotionally charged rivalries might not be enough to stop him. It might be jarring, but it might just happen. That's the beauty and the chaos of this league. Now let's look at what this means on the field. The Commanders' O-line has been shaky at best in recent years. They've lacked an anchor, they've lacked consistency, and they've definitely lacked leadership in the trenches. Insert Jason Kelce. And that all changes immediately. His football intelligence is off the charts. He's practically a second offensive coordinator on the field. Pre-snap reads, check. Identifying blitz packages, easy. Adjusting protections, second nature. He elevates everyone around him. Guards, tackles, quarterbacks, they all benefit. And let's not forget his athleticism. Even at 36, Kelsey's movement skills are elite. His ability to reach second-level defenders is unmatched. That kind of presence can completely reshape an offense, especially when trying to build around a rookie quarterback. Daniels would instantly gain a mentor, protector, and field general all in one. That's not just a signing, that's a foundational shift. But the most fascinating part of this rumor might not even be the football itself. It's the story, the narrative arc. Jason Kelce retiring on top, walking away on his own terms only, to return in the most unexpected way imaginable. That's cinema, man. That's legacy level drama. And it raises the question, does Kelsey feel like there's still something left in the tank? Was retirement too soon? Did the fire never actually go out? If so, the Commanders might have caught him at just the right moment. Caught him with that itch, that temptation, that what if rattling around in the back of his mind. And if Kelsey is even considering this move, it's not because he wants to cash a check. It's because he wants to compete. And more than that, maybe he wants to prove he can lead a second team to success and silence the doubters all over again. Let's not overlook the emotional complexity here either. Kelsey's bond with Philadelphia runs deep. His departure was seen as the end of an era, a passing of the torch. Coming back to play, not in an Eagles jersey, might stir up all kinds of feelings both for him and for the fans. Would it tarnish his legacy? Or would it cement him as a warrior who simply loves the game too much to walk away when the right opportunity calls? That depends on how things play out. If he joins the Commanders and helps them become competitive again, it could be one of the most impressive feats of his career. But if it doesn't pan out, there's always a risk. That's the gamble. But legends don't become legends by playing it safe. They make bold choices. And if this rumor is true, Kelsey's about to roll. the dice one more time. And you know what? There's something undeniably exciting about the idea of Kelsey clashing with his old team twice a year. Eagles versus Commanders just went from a standard rivalry to a full-blown soap opera. Every snap, every block, every stare down with his former teammates would carry weight. The media frenzy would be insane. The ticket sales? Through the roof. And you know Kelsey thrives in that kind of chaos. He's not the kind of player who shies away from the spotlight. He owns it. He brings a theatrical flair to the grind of football. This wouldn't just be a signing, it'd be an event, and for a Commanders franchise desperate to re-energize. Its fan base prove that it's no longer the doormat of the NFC East. There might be no better move than bringing in a walking, talking, podcasting legend to lead the charge. We still don't have anything official, but behind the scenes, conversations are allegedly heating up. Some insiders are saying the Commanders have already made contact with Kelsey's camp. Others are speculating that he's been spotted training again, maybe testing out whether the body still has enough left to survive another grueling season. If true, this would be a blockbuster for Washington and a stunner for the entire NFL. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. Nothing is set in stone. But if you're a fan of drama, comebacks, and legendary plot twists, you might want to keep your eyes glued to this situation. Because if Jason Kelce does indeed come out of retirement to suit up for Washington, the entire league is going to feel the impact. And trust me, this is exactly the kind of chaos the NFL loves for. Buckle up. This might just happen. So let's wrap this up with one final thought. Whether Kelce actually signs or not, this rumor alone speaks volumes about the direction both he and the Commanders might be heading. For Kelce, the fact that he's even in these conversations tells you that his story might not be over yet. For the Commanders, it signals a hunger to win now, not just build for the future. It shows they're willing to think outside the box, take risks, and change the narrative. And if they land Jason Kelce, it sends a message to the rest of the league. Washington is done being quiet. They're coming with veterans, attitude, and purpose. Stay tuned, folks, because if this thing becomes real, we'll all be talking about it for years. And whether you love or hate the move, one thing's certain. Jason Kelce's legacy is about to get a whole lot more interesting. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.